Happy Victory Monday, Patriots fans. Not too often we get to say that on Monday, so I'm going to say it multiple times here on this stream. But more importantly, I want to talk about 3 takeaways that I have from watching the Patriots versus the Bears. Look, I know, the Bears are struggling. It's not like we just took down the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. But a win is a win for a rebuilding team, and there were a lot of good things that we can take moving forward with the young guys and some of the veterans as well during this rebuild. So before we jump into that, I just want to say thank you to everybody that joined us in our watch party with Week 10. We had over 37,000 viewers, and we gained almost 300 new subscribers. So now our goal to hit before Week 11 is 19,000 subscribers. We have a little over 500 to go, but nonetheless, just thank you guys so much for tuning in and for supporting the channel. Now let's go ahead and go into takeaways here. Number 1, Keion White is an absolute dog. We knew this, but it's kind of fallen off the last couple of weeks. I mean, he went 4 sacks through the first 2 games, and after that, his stats just kind of plummeted. But what Keion White is doing behind the scenes is also really making an impact here on defense. Because when you look at the box score of him going up against Caleb Williams, and let me tell you, there were 9 sacks in this ball game. So Keion White's 1 sack, 1 pass deflection, 4 tackles. It really doesn't move the needle for me. I'm looking at Keion White and I'm like, I should have seen double-digit tackles. I should have seen multiple sacks. But when you look at his advanced stats going up against Caleb Williams, this is where Keion White really thrives as a top edge rusher, not just for the Patriots, but in the league. The most pass rush snaps for a defensive end on New England with 35 pass rush. He was in Caleb Williams' ear the entire game. And that was a team-high 6 quarterback pressures, even though he only got to him 1 time with that sack. Every single play, he was rushing Caleb Williams. I almost said Drake Maye. And then he had 4 stops, which was also up there tied for the team high when it came to the nitty-gritty, making sure the Williams and the Bears had no momentum here on offense. And then after the game, Keion White comes out with this. I don't think there's a guard in the league who can block me one-on-one. And I fully believe that. Keion White is an absolute menace to quarterbacks. Is he getting the type of flash that Aiden Hutchinson is getting? No. Is he still the best defensive end in the league? No. But he is the best defensive end that we do have here on the Patriots. And like I said, you look at the box score, it's not flashy. He's not doing that much in terms of his own personal stats. But what he's doing in terms of forcing a punt, forcing a 3-and-out, forcing an incomplete pass, that's what matters to me. And I think guards and tackles really don't like playing against Keion White. So I have a question here. My word's going to be dog. Give me one word to describe Keion White, whether it's in Week 10, whether it's through 10 weeks, or just what he means here on the Patriots. This will be the pinned comment, and we're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break, so be sure to stick around because I've got plenty more takeaways to get through. Just sit through the next 30 seconds, go down, and comment below. Keion White's PFF grades also go a little bit unnoticed here because when I finally looked at what he's done through the last 10 games, we obviously can see that there is a strong suit and a weak point of his defense. Number 1, the pass block, that's the weak point. We know that even Matthew Judon and Christian Barmore were a little bit more equipped in that pass block, and now that they don't have either, Keion White has had to take a different role this year as well. But his pass blocking, it's 71st right now in terms of edge rushers in the NFL, so that can obviously be a little bit better. But the run defense, that is huge. That should say pass rush and run defense, but his run defense, 82.6. This is where I'm really starting to see where Keion White can thrive. 10th best in the overall. And when Keion White has a good game, I'm starting to notice that the defensive swagger is back. That's where I really start to see Keion White's biggest impact here is when he can disrupt some form of offense. The rest of the team has a little bit easier of a job. You can see a Brendan Schooler blitz coming in from the secondary. You can see the linebackers really starting to have an easier time getting to the quarterback on those rushes because Keion White is making such an impact when it comes to opening up that gap and allowing those linebackers to come through and to stuff the run. And with White, I know that he can be an extremely dominant defensive player here for the Patriots, but he just needs to be consistent. That's the thing that he has lacked this year. And if he can tune that up and turn out to, doesn't have to tally a sack every single game, but maybe work on getting your quarterback hits up. Maybe keep pressuring more. Maybe allow more stops to come throughout the run defense to bump up that number as well. If he can start being consistent, Keion White is going to be a menace moving forward for the New England Patriots defense. We're going to talk about two more takeaways here that I had from the Week 10 win over the Bears. But before we hop into that, I do want to ask you guys and tell you guys about Prize Picks and why are we not playing it just yet? I've been playing this well before they became a sponsor here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Why? Because it's the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. If you guys are looking to join over 10 million active users, including myself and even producer Colin, well, here's how you guys can do it. All you guys have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. Not to mention it's crossover season. There are several different sporting events going on every single day to make sure that you've got plenty to choose from and test out your skills in over 30 different states, including Cali, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. And I love crossover season, so I've got football and basketball here in my Prize Picks for today. I normally always go more. That's kind of how I play, but I got a little Devon Achane having more than 58.5 rushing yards. And then I took James Harden to have less than 14.5 rebounds and assists. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they look pretty legit this year. So I'm going to have James Harden have a little bit less here in this game. But these are just my Prize Picks. If you guys want to go ahead and test your skills, it's super easy to do so. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly playing your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. We can't talk about a victory Monday without mentioning the rookie quarterback. Drake Maye is a full-blown leader. He really is. I think the #1 play that replays in my mind here is the early interception in the first half, knowing he just came off of 2 interceptions in the Week 9 loss, but he rallied back. He did not let that affect him, and Drake Maye is a voice for these people. For these players, I should say. When he came into his post-game press conference, the kid just got one of his first victories as a quarterback. He comes in and says, phones down, notepads down. We're clapping it up for the defense. Clap it up. Clap it up. Somebody else clap up. There we go. That's how he started his post-game press conference, was giving credit where credit was due to the 9-sack defense that took down the Chicago Bears. I think we're kind of forgetting here that this kid's 22. You don't want to know me when I was 22 years old. I probably wasn't the most confident kid in the entire world. But Drake Maye comes in here and tells reporters what to do. Tells reporter that you just watched a phenomenal defensive showing. Who cares about my stats? Put your notepads down. Don't ask me a single question and give praise where praise is needed, and that's to the defense. That's huge for Drake Maye. That's huge. And of course, he went to give thanks to his offense as well, but that shows me a really strong skill set from a very young kid. And remember how I said he just won his full first game as the Patriots starting quarterback. He went out in the second quarter with a concussion against the Jets when they took the win in Week 8. So for him to come out here and not give anything to himself but immediately give it to the defense, who held the lowest rushing yards since Week 2 with under 80 yards from a phenomenal running back in DeAndre Swift, tallying on 9 sacks to a very mobile quarterback, that man's a leader. And I'm excited to see him keep fulfilling that statement as a leader. Jerod Mayo even said that Maye has been pretty vocal in practices the last couple of weeks, saying he's addressed the offense numerous times. And not really in a praising sort. He's been addressing the numerous offensive mistakes and how he wants to fix them. I think it goes back to now he's starting to really take control of the offense and the team. When you go out there and you perform at a high level, that's the first step. The next step is to bring others with you. And I think he's on his way to doing that. And you have to remember, Drake Maye is the youngest of 3 very good athletes in his family. So to have the runt of the litter also now be the leader at 22, it speaks so highly of what the Patriots just drafted in the 3rd pick of the most recent draft. And I do think that Maye just needed to get one win under his belt, just to prove to himself maybe that I can lead this team, no matter how old, how young, to a victory, and I can be this franchise's starting quarterback. And I do think that with one win under his belt, we're about to unlock a new level of Maye that we haven't seen just yet. So it's about time we get the love back to Drake Maye the way that he's been giving it to everybody else. Go on ahead and spam your 10s in the comment section down below if you love Drake Maye's performance in Week 10 as well. Number 3, it kind of goes hand in hand here that the young guys just stepped up, and that is essential for a rebuild. I know that you don't want to say they're going to go to the Super Bowl. They're not going to be a 10-win team. But if the young guys start doing their job, it's going to set the standard moving forward for the rest of the season and for years to come. And there's just a few guys that come to my mind that are a little bit younger in terms of this rebuild that had a huge day in Week 10. Del Pettis. He recorded his first sack. He's 23 years old. Pettis' job is going to start to fall off once Kyle Duggar does come back, but stepping up as a backup safety, taking over for a captain, Pettis had a phenomenal lockdown day in the secondary. Jalen Polk, who's been dealing with a bit of a mental block the last couple of weeks, he didn't have a very effective game in the passing game, but when it came down to scoring a touchdown, Polk read it with Drake Maye. He got his block, pushed off his block, got open, and allowed Drake Maye to throw the only touchdown pass of the day. Polk's 22 years old. Brendan Schooler, a little bit older here, 27, but for the last 3 seasons, Schooler has been a dominant piece in the special teams unit for the Patriots. Now he comes in as a safety. He spies out Caleb Williams, pressures him, rushes him, brings the blitz as he's trying to go around the right side, and he would have gained a first down. He would have gained 10 yards. But Brendan Schooler comes in, cuts him off, and sacks Caleb Williams at the line of scrimmage, and he's 27 years old. And then Jacqueline Roy, he's just a legit player. He was phenomenal yesterday. 24 years old. We picked him up this offseason, and I think Roy has proven that he's going to be a good depth piece moving forward. Not to mention, reports have shown that practices have started to get a little bit more intense. So I now think the young guys are starting to realize that, hey, we got to put in really hard work throughout the week because it will start to pay off on game days. I'm not saying that the young guys haven't played well in games, but they sometimes get outshined by the veterans, which is to be expected. But if you can mix that young play in with the veteran experience, that's what a rebuild should be about. And now I'm noticing with a leader like Drake Maye, if he keeps paving the way for young guys and for veterans as well, Drake Maye is going to lead players. They may not enjoy all of Jerod and Mayo's decisions. They definitely might not enjoy all of Alex Van Pelt's play calls. But if you've got a rookie that is putting himself on the line out there every week with you, players will follow on both sides of the football, no matter what age, and I think we're about to witness something really special for that rookie. So my last question here for you guys is, who is your favorite player in Week 10? A lot of disruption and a lot of things had to go in to this win in Week 10, so let me know in the comment section down below who you enjoyed watching the most. And as always, our journey to 19,000 subscribers starts today. All you guys have to do to be in the know is subscribe.